Hi, everyone. This is Lisa and Lisa. I am with Primary Beans and Foodocracy. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about one of my favorite ingredients. If you're in the Foodocracy group, you know I talk about it all the time. New to Primary Beans audience is Kombu. And I've got my friend Lisa here, who is from Maine, and she's going to tell us the little New England secret of putting kombu in our beans. Lisa, why do we put kombu in our beans?
Hi, everyone, and congratulations, Lisa, on your growing world. It's so exciting. Yes, why do we add kombu to beans? And maybe we should step back and answer the question, what is kombu? Kombu is seaweed. Seaweed that grows in the Gulf of Maine, in this case. And we add it to things like beans because it helps to break down the beans and make them more easily digestible. So that's a nice way of saying you don't have any sort of physical discomfort after you've eaten a lot of beans. It also adds a wonderful umami flavor to whatever you're cooking. And so it'll give the beans a nice, savory, salty flavor that just, makes them taste even better, regardless of what kind of seasonings you're adding to make them. And so there's the digestion reason for adding beans, but there are other reasons why you should consider cooking with seaweed. Seaweed is the most sustainable food on the planet. It is the poster child for sustainability. Why is that? Well, when you grow seaweed, you're not using any fresh water, you're not using any land, and you're not using any fertilizer. So right there, A+. In addition, in waters where seaweed grows, there is a reduced amount of ocean acidification because seaweed is absorbing the nutrients that it needs from the water in order to grow, and those nutrients are nitrogen and carbon. And so, by the mere virtue of growing, it helps to reduce ocean acidification. So your water's cleaner. And in areas where seaweed grows, there are more fish and more kinds of fish that live. So it helps to improve biodiversity. On top of all that, if that wasn't enough, it's super nutritious. So we like to call seaweed Mother Nature's multivitamin. And it really does have everything you need in order to be healthy. First and foremost, it's got lots of iodine, and iodine is really important for your thyroid. The thyroid is what helps keep your digestion in check and your energy levels in check. And if your thyroid isn't working right, you're going to feel listless and you're not going to digest your food really well. So it's important to have enough iodine. But it also has tons of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, potassium, selenium, magnesium, all this good stuff we need. And it's all there naturally. So the perfect food, really.
It is. I love it. And so a lot of people, sometimes I get people who will email me and say, oh, I don't like seaweed. I don't like the taste of seaweed. And I think that those people are probably thinking of nori, because that is in the American diet, how we usually interact with seaweed is nori rolls or things like that. But I find that I call this a ninja. I call it my ninja ingredient because it kind of it just literally the taste disappears. It doesn't taste in your food like anything, and it doesn't change the taste. All it does is enhance the taste. So it's got these natural glutamates that act like Mother Nature's MSG. So you say it's Mother Nature's multivitamin. I call it Mother Nature's MSG because those naturally occurring glutamates just enhance the flavor, how we perceive it in our taste buds. It's not actually changing the flavor of the food at all molecularly. It's just changing the way we perceive the flavor. And so just the way MSG does or salt does. And it just enhances that flavor, makes it more available for us. And in addition, it's really making a lot of nutrients from the beans more bioavailable for us. It's more digestible. And I have to tell you, before I discovered the kombu trick, I had a little problem in my house. My husband has a little problem digesting beans. It's really hard on his stomach. And I tried all the soaking methods and the pressure cooker, all the stuff. And he really could only tolerate eating beans about once a week, and anything more than that was just too much for him. So I started using kombu. We can cook with beans. We can eat them twice a day, every day, and it doesn't bother him at all. The difference is night and day. Night and
Wow.
day digestibility. It's completely changed our ability to eat beans more often and to not hurt his stomach. And that is without soaking. I'm doing
That's
it.
amazing.
Achieving really great results without even soaking. So whatever it's doing it right. And I love it. It's really good. So let's talk a little bit about how you use kombu. Like you get this box. So this is Nature's Ocean's Balance kombu, which is the one that we carry on Foodocracy and also Primary Beans now for all of you lucky people at Primary Beans. And we carry this for a specific reason. First of all, because I met Lisa many years ago at Natural Foods Expo, and of course fell in love. Lisa is one of the owners of Ocean Balance. We should mention that, and it's a fantastic company. And what I like about their kombu is that it does come from the really clean Gulf of Maine. A lot of the kombu that you see out there is from Asia, and we just don't know about the waters there and what's going on. And so I know that this is really super pristine and super clean, and I know that the way that they are sustainably farming it is great for the ocean. It's great for the people who are farming it. They're kind of just all great. So it ticks all the boxes that we love for Foodocracy products. But when you get your bag, you're going to pull out this thing, and you're going to be like, what, Lisa's, am I supposed to do with this? So you're going to kind of carefully pull it open a little bit. And I would say about a 4-inch bit. So I might break off this little bit here, and put it in. It just needs a little 4-inch, but maybe a little bit bigger than this. This is a little small. If I was doing maybe a half a pound, I might put this much in, but I might put like double or triple this amount in my pot. I just break a little bit off, and then I put it in just with my dry beans and my water and my salt. Don't forget, always salt your beans ahead, because contrary to what you've heard, it does help them soften better. It's the opposite of what you've heard. And you always salt your beans before. And then you put your kombu in. Just like a bay leaf, you just lay it in the pot with your water. Now, when the beans have all cooked and it's done its magic, Lisa, do you keep the kombu in or do you take it out?
Oh, I leave it in. But I always leave things in.
Well, so I will say I usually leave it in, but it does depend on what I'm cooking and what I'm eating. And the only reason I take it off is because sometimes maybe I'm making a salad with like a white bean and it just is not going to look pretty. So sometimes I take it out because I want it to look prettier without the kombu in. But for taste, I just keep it in. It doesn't change the taste. It just and eating the kombu is so healthy for you. It's like the best thing you can possibly put in your dish. So, and it adds umami. So it's fantastic. It is one of the ingredients in a lot of my bean dishes because it really does add that umami. And so, especially if you're a plant-based eater and you're not eating meat, like this is a great way to get that yummy umami-ish flavor. It's like, oh, so delicious. It gives you that feeling, that satisfaction that you get from eating meat is that umami. And when we add that to beans, we're just getting that same satisfaction level that we would get from a meat-based product with that being totally plant-based.
Exactly. And without any of the digestive issues of eating a straight bean. So you can't lose.
You can't lose. All right. That is how you cook with kombu. And that's about it. I mean, it just couldn't be more simple. It's the easiest thing to do. These keep like forever in your pantry, but you're going to need to buy a couple of them because you go through more than you think you do. I go through a couple packs of these a month personally, but I do cook a lot of beans. So there's that. Yeah. So if you don't cook a lot of beans, you might go through one a month, maybe less, but depends on how much beans you're cooking, but they're really, really good. It's yummy. It changes everything. It makes it better, more digestible, more healthy. Why would you not cook with kombu? Do it today.
It's a well-known thing in the Northeast where I live, but thanks to Lisa, she's getting the word out to the rest of the country so that everybody can benefit from putting seaweed like kombu in their beans and just being able to eat them more happily.
Thank you very much for joining me, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here at Primary Beans and Foodocracy. And bon appetit, everyone.